Letter of intent. Pretty simple. I was going to say, had a letter of intent today. It's pretty thorough. It was a good letter of intent. Who the buyer is, what the price is, how much earnest money they're putting on, when that goes hard, what the due diligence period is, what contingencies there are, what timing for each item, and deliveries. What are they going to want or what are they going to need for buying that property? We've got a list of, hey, we need to see all of these things as part of our due diligence, so we want to get that out ahead of time to let everybody know. I'm going to use some terms here, okay? If I'm talking to a broker, they're going to say, what terms do you want? And usually I'll say, well, I want a 30-30, 30-day due diligence, 30-day close, or 15-45 or 15-90, whatever it is, but that's usually due diligence period and then closing period after due diligence. So a 30-30, which is pretty norm, that gives you 30 days to do due diligence and apply for financing, and 30 days to get financing. Now usually it's 30-30 plus extensions based on the needs of the lender. Because the lender, they have their own time frame. Sometimes if you're doing a HUD loan, that's a 9-month deal. So you're not going to sell something with somebody that's getting a HUD loan. But get all those in your letter of intent. If they approve that, which some letters of intent you sign off on, most people won't because it says that it's not worth anything, it's not binding, anything like that. All it is an agreement between two parties on what we're going to do. Then that letter of intent goes to the lawyers who actually draft a contract. Now contracts can be completely one-sided or they can be fair. Generally the seller is providing the contract and then the buyer reviews that and we'll send it over to our attorney, mark it up, make sure it matches the LOI, and there will be 100 more items in there that some of which need to be negotiated. Generally, if you have a fair contract, and they do have some promulgated forms for contracts that make it easy, Marks and Millichap, Caldwell Banker, et cetera, they have those. So if it's a broker's contract, generally it's kind of fair, but if the seller's providing their own, it's completely unfair. Give you a hint though, there's a company in California, and this was a training class that I took like in 1990, that they taught, it was done by a lawyer, and her name's on the tip of my tongue, and their whole business program was what you do is you tie up the property, okay, and you use their contract. So you get a property under contract with their contract, which basically tied the hands of the seller that it could tie it up for like 6 months, okay? Very onerous contract if you could ever use it. But the whole idea is tie it up. 3 most important words in real estate are not location, location, location. It's tie it up, okay? Because if you have it tied up, you have control over it. The longer you have it tied up for, the more control you have, okay? So as a seller, I want as short a period of time as possible. As a buyer, I want as long a time as possible. And so that's where the negotiation comes in. Gray. Last name was Gray, was the attorney in California that did that seminar. Sorry. Now, after you get the contract signed, let's go back here a second. You sign the contract and you have to put up earnest money, okay? Now, if you're buying a deal, you don't have partners yet, you have to put up earnest money. Well, where's that money coming from? Generally, your own pocket, okay? In my case, it's coming out of my pocket. Brookside, for example, was $400,000 out of pocket right off the bat. Well, we didn't have any money raised. It's all my money. So we put that out as a earnest money deposit. In that one, $200,000 was non-refundable day one, $200,000 more non-refundable after due diligence. And then we did one contract extension for another $50,000 non-refundable. Okay? So this is a big deal though. So and in this marketplace you have non-refundable money day one. That's just how it works. So you have to put that money up. Okay? Heart pounding, no sleep, big risk, sprint to the finish line. We've got this down pretty easy where it's not that big of a worry. Okay? As some investors will say, it's all going to come. No, it's okay. Everybody still wants to get to the finish line. Like my attorney, Dick Rushman, he will worry about every detail. You have to get that done by this time, or they can screw you. We end up getting it done, but the sky is falling as far as making sure that everything's taken care of. But generally speaking, everybody wants to get to the same goal and get the property sold, so they'll negotiate things. Just because it's in the contract that it's going to go that way, yes, that is a firm thing in the contract, but generally speaking, everybody's on the same page to get a deal done, so they're not going to worry too much if we need to change something around or modify something. Giving an example of Brookside is I was out of town, so I wanted to extend closing. I wanted to extend closing, so the seller said, okay, put up another $50,000 non-refundable. I said, okay, that's the give and take. Well, then we had closing set up that I would sign the documents last Friday so that the transaction would fund and we would take over yesterday, Monday. Well, then the seller said, wait a minute, I'm out of town that week. So I can't close then, so let's go ahead and push that off, and it's okay to sign the documents first, but we'll then close and take over on the 17th. But now it wasn't me asking, it was them asking, so I could have asked for more, but we said, that's okay, it's no big deal. It's not like I can say, give me $50,000 of my earnest money back, it doesn't really matter. But everybody wants to get to the same position. Be sure to visit us at darwingerman.com. There you can register for all of our information and see all of the videos. And make sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.